Hey, everybody. Hi, it's Steve Baxley, and I welcome you to the Steve Baxley Sports Final. Harry is on the Thanksgiving vacation. Be back with us on Monday night. And if you're like me, you got to apologize for being late. The tryptophan came and went. I know we were supposed to start 10 minutes ago until 12:40. Well, we have to anyway. So let's give you the deets as to what happened tonight in football before we have to give you some foul bird from the afternoon tilt. The NFL showed itself today to now in jeopardy of not happening. We will explain all that to you in a very few moments, but right now we do have to talk about, well, we'll talk about the Lions in a moment. Now let's get to a game that, well, frankly, was better. Washington took on Dallas. And this has history all through the rampant plains of America. That's right, if you're a football fan, you know when rivalries hit. And the biggest rivalry next to Green Bay, Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit, and of course the Jets and Giants is the ever lovable Washington versus the Dallas Cowboys. That's right, and even when they were nicknamed after an Indian, this rivalry has a few good things about it. And yes, it does. And I'm trying to get to the Blessed Are They scoreboard, but it's taking its little time here. So what we're going to do is skip that service, and do a little fast because we got a lot to talk about in an hour. And trust me, it is an hour worthy of viewing. So here we go. Let's go as Washington demolished the Cowboys by a score of 41-16. Let's take you on a recap of that game before, and hey, it finally appears. Yay. Don't you just love it when we have to stall for about 3 to 10 seconds and then it all comes back at us? Yes, I love it too. Recap, boys, recap. Oh, boy. Okay. Here we go. Alex Smith has Washington at least temporarily in first place in the NFC East after winning on Thanksgiving for the first time 2 years after a planned holiday showing was wrecked by the quarterback's career-threatening leg injury. Smith and his teammates aren't going to concern themselves with how bad their division might be. Antonio Gibson ran for 3 touchdowns. Smith had a scoring pass, and Washington pulled away in the fourth quarter of a 41-16 rout over the Dallas Cowboys. Smith was days away from a second career Thanksgiving start and a visit to Dallas 2 years ago when he was injured. Now he has a second straight victory in his improbable comeback. Gibson's second score. That's right. Gibson had a second score. Antonio Gibson had a 23-yard run on the first play after an ill-advised fake punt attempt by Dallas as Washington beat its division rival on Thanksgiving for a second time in 10 tries. The most frequent visitor for the Cowboys in their annual holiday home game. Washington, which is 4-7, slides ahead of Philadelphia 3-6-1 in the NFC East and will stay in first place if the Eagles lose to Seattle on Monday night. It was the third win in 5 games since a 5-game losing streak dropped Washington to 1-5. Dallas couldn't build on a big win in Minnesota, losing for the 5th time in 6 games since star quarterback Dak Prescott's season-ending ankle injury. The Cowboys were playing a day after strength coach Marcus Paul died at a hospital following a medical emergency at the team's facility. Paul was honored with a moment of silence before the game. The Cowboys trailed 2016 when they faced a 4th and 10 from their 24-yard line and early in the fourth quarter. Darian Thompson took the snap in front of punter Hunter Nizwanda and pitched to Cedric Wilson on a reverse that was stuffed for a 1-yard loss. On the next play, Gibson easily beat the Dallas defense to the left pylon. After another Dallas punt, Gibson capped a clock-killing drive with a 37-yard score for a 34-16 lead. Washington made it a complete blowout when Montez Sweat tipped and intercepted a pass right in the face of Andy Dalton and was free to run 15 yards for the big old final nail in the coffin. Gibson, who already was the rookie leader in touchdowns, rushing, and now has 11, finished with 115 yards on 20 carries. And two-time rushing champion Ezekiel Elliott of Dallas had just 32 yards while losing his 5th fumble of the season, by far the most of his 5-year career. McLaurin had the defense play of the game, tackling Smith at the Washington 4. After Smith's interception, the open field near the 50. The Cowboys went 6 yards in the wrong direction and had to settle for a short 3-pointer and a 2016 deficit late in the third quarter. Dallas's last lead was 10-7 in the second after Dalton's 54-yard touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, who had 112 yards on 6 catches. Smith's touchdown pass was a 5-yarder to tight end Logan Thomas, the former college quarterback who chunked the ball into the second deck of seats not long after his 28-yard pass to McLaurin on a trick play set up Gibson's first touchdown. Now, here are the injuries. The Dallas offensive line that has been in flux all season lost both starting tackles to injuries in the opening drive, which ended in a field goal, and that's with the original starting tackles already out for the season with injuries. Zach Martin, a four-time All-Pro at right guard, making a second straight start at right tackle, injured his left calf in the first half. 4 plays earlier, left tackle Cameron Irving exited with a knee injury. Washington plays Pittsburgh on December 6th. Oh, will that game be interesting? Cowboys take on Baltimore next Thursday. And now for the bitter recap of what has to be the most idiotic, the most embarrassing game since last Sunday. The Lions, since the year 2000, and this is an important bon mot to give you. As we all know, the Lions, well, they have this way of losing Thanksgiving Day games. That's right. Since they started this whole traditional history of them hosting and playing in them. In the year 2000, guess how many games the Lions have won? A little quiz for you. Guess how many games the Lions have won? I bet you can't give me the proper answer. Well, I give it to you. 1. 1 game. Oh, 1. Yes, 1 game, ladies and gentlemen. 1 game. It was a stinker after that. I think they're 1-16 now. 1-16. Can anyone and everybody? I mean, it's incredible. It is without a doubt incredible. The stat that this is 1 game, 1 Thanksgiving Day game. Well, not exactly. We're trying to find it here while we're looking at this. I mean, right now. Oh, excuse me. How about this? Lions. I found it. It wasn't 1 game. They've only won 4 Thanksgiving games since 2000. They are 4-16. Matt Patricia is now 13-29-1. He has already lost more games in less than 3 years than Jim Caldwell lost in 4. Oh, I'm glad we don't do video. Deshaun Watson dropped back in a protected pocket in midfield and perfectly lofted one of his 4 touchdown passes, connecting with Will Fuller in stride just before he reached the end zone. Houston star quarterback made it look easy, and the Lions did their part to not put up much of a fight. Watson had a pair of go-ahead touchdown passes in the first half and threw for 2 more scores, including a flea flicker that I think embarrassed not only the whole team, but the new kid on the block of chairman on the boards, Sheila Ford Hamp, who was seen via cameras putting her head in her hands in embarrassment. Telling, isn't it? And he wasn't satisfied. Watson wanted more. The dynamic quarterback finished 17 of 25 for 318 yards with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. He threw 15 touchdown passes without getting picked off once in the past 6 games. Texas star defensive end J.J. Watt had an early pick 6, and Fuller 6 receptions for 171 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 40-yard touchdown catch in which it looked like he and Watson were all alone on a practice field. The Texans have won 2 straight games for the first time this season and 3 of their past 4 with Crennel. The Lions, well, they might end this season with an interim coach after losing consecutive games for the 3rd time this season, dropping Matt Patricia's record to 13-29-1 and general manager Bob Quinn's mark to 12 games under 500 over 5 seasons. Patricia, of course, was peppered with the questions about his job being in jeopardy, and he evaded them like a man whose pants are on fire. The Lions retained Patricia and Quinn for this season, and ownership said there was an expectation they contend for the playoffs by playing in meaningful games in December. That seems highly unlikely. Detroit quarterback Matt Stafford said the scrutiny on Patricia has not appeared to affect him. Detroit, which was coming off its first shutout loss since 2009, scored first before collapsing with turnovers on 2 straight snaps and 3 consecutive possessions in the first half. Houston's defense entered the game with an NFL low 5 forced turnovers. Watt put his hands up on a rush just in time to pick up Stafford's pass and returned it 19 yards for a touchdown in the first quarter. Detroit had the ball. Jonathan Williams fumbled. Houston took advantage with Watson's 2-yard touchdown pass to C.J. Prosey to go ahead 13-6. Watson's 33-yard pass to Duke Johnson gave the Texans a 20-14 lead early in the second quarter. Watson's first touchdown pass to Fuller early in the fourth put Houston ahead 34-7. But he connected again with Fuller, who was so wide open you would have needed binoculars to find him. And or the Lions. Where were they? Yep. 34-yard touchdown on a trick flea flicker after handing the ball off and getting it back on a lateral. Stafford was 28 of 42 for 295 yards with a 14-yard touchdown pass to Mohamed Sanu in the fourth, and an interception that Watt returned for a score. Detroit's Adrian Peterson had a pair of 1-yard touchdown runs in the first half, tried to take some blame off Patricia for the latest loss. Detroit defensive back C.J. Moore and Houston's defensive back and C.J.'s brother, A.J. Moore, identical twins, embraced before the game and played against each other for the first time. Now, Watt became the 3rd NFL player to have at least 100 sacks and 6 touchdowns in a career. The others, Jason Taylor and Julius Peppers. Watson and Stafford were among a handful of players on both teams that took a knee during the national anthem, a social justice statement that didn't set well with soon-to-be former President Donald Trump. Here are the injuries. Fullback for Texans, fullback Colin Gillespie back, and wide receiver Kenny Stills, quadricep, were inactive. Lions cornerback Desmond Trufant aggravated a hammy in the second quarter, another setback for a secondary that had rookie cornerback Jeff Okuda shoulder and cornerback Mike Ford concussion inactive. By the way, how much money are we paying Okuda to play? Could somebody tell me how much the Lions are paying this schmuck? Running back DeAndre Swift had a concussion along with wide receivers Kenny Galladay with a hip. He also missed the game. Texans host Indy on December 6th. Lions play at Chicago also on December 6th. Maybe with an interim coach. I will have my say on that coming up. Oh, boy. What a day, kiddies. What a day. And now we go from the NFL to something more happy. That's right, college basketball on Thanksgiving. What more can you ask for than that? What more? Well, how about this? We had 4 games today in the NC2A, and all of them are final. And here we go with their little words. Nebraska Omaha defeated Middle Tennessee 60-59. Number 8 Illinois over Chicago State 9-7-38. Xavier beat Bradley by 1, 50-51. Western Kentucky over Memphis 75-69, and number 1 Gonzaga over number 6 Kansas 102-90. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, he do. And those games were very much. And we welcome you to November 27th, except for those of you on the West Coast who are still on your turkey. Gobble, gobble. Okay, we got some football tomorrow. We're going to tell you all about it. The football feasting of NCAA football begins. And oh boy. We got Friday Football Fiesta coming up. If we got all of it in the board, thank you. Let's see here. We got Iowa State and Texas. On ABC, Massachusetts Liberty on ESPN3. We got Nebraska and Iowa. Let's see. Let's go Friday college football. Okay. Here's who's up and about on Friday college football. As the Fanatic weekend continues, let's give you what's coming up week 13, the Friday games. It's going to be fun, isn't it? It's going to be real fun. That's right. Number 13, Iowa State takes on number 17, Texas, noon on ABC. Number 2, Notre Dame at number 19. North Carolina, 3:30 on the Alphabet Network. Number 15, Oregon at Oregon State will be 7:30 on ESPN. Stanford in California, 4 p.m. on the Big Rock Daddy Fox. The biggest games of all, we'll tell you all about them on Saturday. Of course, the biggest games are on Saturday, but there you go with a football fandango on Friday. Now, with all that said and done, let's give you some news, and we do so with pride. So here we go. As if the situation between the Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't get enough crazy. Well, we got more COVID insanity for you. That's right. The COVID-19 pandemic has wreaked havoc on the Baltimore Ravens this past weekend, as it has now affected their best player. On Thursday night, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport reported that Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson tested positive for the coronavirus. The Ravens were scheduled to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers Thursday night, but the league was forced to reschedule the matchup due to the Ravens' COVID-19 outbreak. The decision was made out of an abundance of caution to ensure the health and safety of players, coaches, and game day personnel, and in consultation with medical experts. Now, the game, as of now, is scheduled for Sunday at 1:15 p.m., and it will remain on NBC and broadcast nationally. Now, according to Adam Schefter of ESPN, 4 more Ravens and 1 more staff member have also tested positive for COVID-19, which include Jackson. Now, while the game against Steelers has already been moved to Sunday, the chances of it being played are reportedly very much diminishing quickly. Several Steelers players took to Twitter to voice their displeasure with the league's decision to originally reschedule the matchup, and one can only imagine what they would feel like if the game is moved yet again. The Ravens are dealing with several positive COVID-19 tests between staff that have been reported, and it was already known that they would be without their top 2 running backs, Mark Ingram and J.K. Dobbins, if the game was to be played on Thanksgiving. Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network reported on Wednesday that Ravens would also have been severely limited on the offensive line if they played on Thursday. Dan Graziano of ESPN reported that 7 players tested positive before Thursday, including Pernell McPhee, Trace McSorley, Matt Circa, Pat Macari, and Calais Campbell. Baltimore has now lost 2 straight games, including a 30-24 overtime loss to the Tennessee Titans this past Sunday. That loss dropped them to 3rd place in the AFC North behind the Browns and Steelers. This latest development certainly casts doubt on when they'll be able to take the field next. We'll give you an update as soon as possible as to whether or not there is going to be a Pittsburgh game. The decision should be not a game time. It should be a day before the game decision by the NFL. There we go. Well, there was a little bright spot in today's Detroit Pussycats Houston Texans game. And by the way, I'll explain that in a moment. Matthew Stafford continues to climb up the NFL record books. Meanwhile, the Detroit Lions still are falling down. Stafford has been franchise QB in Detroit for 12 seasons. He has put up impressive numbers despite the team going just 73-86-1 in his starts. For as depressing as the Lions have been, Stafford has thrived. In the 4th quarter of Detroit's 41-25 manspanking to the Houston Texans, Stafford passed Joe Montana on the all-time passing touchdown list with a 14-yard strike to Mohamed Sanu. Stafford threw the 274th touchdown pass of his career, passing Montana for 17th on the all-time list. The touchdown was Stafford's 18th on Thanksgiving Day, tying Tony Romo, who did the game with Jim Nantz on CBS, for the most passing touchdowns in Thanksgiving. Stafford finished 28-42 for 295 yards with a touchdown and interception in the loss, becoming the first player in NFL history to throw for 3,000 career yards on Thanksgiving. The Lions QB has 3,000 on the nose, 662 ahead of Romo, who only had 2,338. He also has the most passing yards for 160 starts in NFL history, 43,901, leading Aaron Rodgers with 43,027 and Drew Brees with 42,831 in that category. His 274 touchdown passes are the 8th most in league history through 160 starts, and his 3,803 pass completions are first, 28 ahead of Brees. They've been brutal through most of Stafford's career, even though he's played well enough to keep them relevant. If the Lions continue to honor Stafford's contract, he'll have 3 more seasons in Detroit and more records to potentially break. Good luck. You're going to. And need it, he just might. Okay, so we've given you enough on the ball. Let's give you a little bit. No, have we done college basketball? Yes, we have. I thank you for that. Did we? Did we do college basketball? I think we did. Let's see if we did. I got to find out if we done did college basketball fandango, because if we didn't, we're going to do it. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, we did. We did for the 4 games. Okay, thank you. Also in the National Football League, it's great to have a control room that is still personed to give me that so I don't embarrass myself again. Well, the Cleveland Browns are one of a handful of teams dealing with a COVID-19 outbreak. The Browns closed team facilities on November 25th after their 4th positive test. Hi there. You want to teleprompter's gone wild. In less than 2 weeks, a 5th positive test was acknowledged Thursday morning. The team released the following statement. The Cleveland Browns were informed this morning that a player had tested positive for COVID-19. The facility is currently closed and meetings will take place remotely while contact tracing is conducted to identify any high-risk close contacts. The team will continue to consult with the league and medical experts on the appropriate next steps as the health and safety of our players, coaches, and staff and the entire community remains our highest priority. Now, although the NFL adds high-risk contacts to the COVID-19 list, it has been relatively easy to deduce which player actually have the virus. When reserve offensive lineman Chris Hubbard, fullback Andy Janovich, defensive end Myles Garrett, and linebacker Sion Taki were added to the COVID-19 list, the team released a statement earlier in the day acknowledging that a player tested positive. 0 statements were released on the days that defensive end Joe Jackson, offensive tackle Jack Conklin, long snapper Charlie Hughlett, and kicker Cody Parquet, no butter, were added to the COVID-19 list. Conklin and Parquet were able to play the same week. The identity of the 5th positive test has not been identified, but it should become clear in the coming hours when the Browns add a player to the COVID-19 list. The 4 players to previously test positive all remain on the list dating back to November 13. Cleveland, 7-3, scheduled to play the Jaguars this weekend. Jacksonville has also been dealing with positive tests from the coaching staff. The NFL made the difficult decision to postpone the Thursday night matchup between the Ravens and Steelers because of Baltimore's COVID-19 outbreak. Contingency plans have already been made in the event that games are canceled. The league reached the decision to allow 8 teams per conference in the playoffs if meaningful games are canceled. To this point, that has not happened. Baltimore may force the issue this weekend, however, and we've already told you about that. Okay, it's 11 minutes past the hour of midnight Eastern. Cuckoo. Ready? There you go. Bye. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's keep on going and rolling on. And wow. Hey there we go. Let's see. Do we have any other thing for you? Yes, we do. Let's take you now on a spin of the wheel of worry, otherwise known as media bites, from our friends at Awful Announcing. Yes, Awful Announcing. Last Dance proceeds to Feed an American charity. That's good. The producer of The Long Game, Josh Danziger, talked about the father-son story of Woodrow and Josh Grady in 7-on-7 football. And a little sad news to report, if we may. Long-time famed Baltimore sportscaster Jack Dawson, who for 3 decades covered sports on Baltimore's WMAR, ABC2, passed away November 19th of coronavirus complications. He was 91 years young, I will say. He was one of the best and gave the fans of Baltimore something very special. And that's it for that. Wow. Okay, well, let's get you to some hellos from Facebook, Twitter, and the Gram. And we want to wish get well to Yuki Tanaka, Anne Marie Mann, who is in the hospital still, and to Angela Peterson, Christina Peterson. Keep smiling and get well, please. Okay, we got more. And by the way, thank you for the Thanksgiving din din. Uno loved hers. In fact, I got to give her a refill. Anyway, let's go for the highs. Angela Peterson, Christina Peterson, Yuki Tanaka, Anne-Marie Mann, Jay the Brain Man, Matthew Nichols, Jerry Nichols, Nancy Nichols. We also got to say hi to Crystal Hart, Brian Mann, Wesley Snell, Brutal Metzler, Hilda Clark Bowen, Dale Sankey, Rick Chiampa, Deshaun Whipple, Ralph Gaultier, Bobby Strauss, Yvonne Marie, Shannon Walsh, Ricky Pickrell, referee Russ Kimball, of course, Jay the Brain Man, I've already mentioned, Alan Oberoff, Chuck Cook, King Chuck, my cousin, Myra Baxley Nuon, and my other cousin, Sarah Beth Baxley. Hi. And also Stuart Wilkerson, Rannon and Shelley, January J. Keaton, and if that's no, we got Brenda Dixon, Marina Orlova, the Hot for Words teacher, Mark Boone, of course, the Mod Father himself. We also say hi to Charlene Jeter, to whom else, guys? Give me help. Of course, Linda Steele. Very nice person indeed. Linda Steele, how you doing? Let's see. Cassie Little, Helena Kirby, Vanessa Elise, Tess Broussard, Alex Sims, Vanessa Elise Messenger, Sandra Douglas, Vanessa Douglas, and of course, Sabrina Kyle, and Jeff Rollo, Marley Wiley, Mr. and Mrs. Nellie Kenine, and I'm going to take a pause for a bit. Be right back. And we'll be back. We'll have more shout outs and the scoreboard coming up. Stand by. I'll be right back. I got to use the facility. Here. Come on. Don't worry. I'm just doing my show. Okay. Okay. Back. Yes, I washed my hands. And also, big old happy birthday to a good friend, Miss Mandy Summers. Hi, Wyatt Holiday. Hi, Dark Gift. Hi, Double J, otherwise known as Sith Lord. Hi to Peter Gilmore, to Charlie's London, and all the folks over at Comicsgate. Nicest bunch of folks and the most creative bunch of folks I've ever witnessed in my life. And if you haven't, you should, because I'm telling you this, she has convinced me to try out my hand at artwork and see if I can't do a comic book. I got two, by the way. Want to show? Don't want to show that. That's Doctor Who. Okay. Of course, Wart the Wizard and Rocket Gal and the Mole Men from Mars. Now there's another one that's coming out. It's the Pirate Queen, and there's some others as well. I'll mention them sometime later, but these are good. These are good. They are damn good. Duh. Oh yeah, got me some little handy dandy cards here. No, I'll show those at a later time, because guess what? We got to finish up the shouts. So Cleo Glide, Brenda Dixon, all the folks. Tess Broussard, hi. As I said, Helena Kirby, Cassie Little, and Amari Woods. Can't go wrong with those folks. And all my friends, the old Text Me TV ranchero. Okay, how about Twitter? Oh, Amy Hayes, Frida Hayes, Morris Hayes, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving. Also, a happy Thanksgiving to my relatives down south, across the road, across the avenue, and across from the chair, including the four-legged one named Uno, who is, of course, the mouse assassin. I don't know if she'll say goodnight tonight, but she'll probably say something tomorrow. This is all going to be exciting and fun indeed. And I hope you all had a very happy, festive, and wonderful Turkey Day. Mine was okay, but we'll talk about that at a later time. Right now, let's give you the Nandor, Fox, Schaefer. Hello, Nandor. You're looking good. Sibley Souls, Mandy Summers, Ivy McKellen, Casey Lennox, Nick Mantis, Alex Smith, Audrey Dahlgren. We also say to thee, to thine, to thou. Who else do we say hi to? Of course, to Dominique Keith, Tom Ziska, Melissa Wilson, Dr. Jim, Erica Renee Davis, Peter Oeda, Louisa Fernanda, Beth McLeod, Lena Gwynn, Tessa Barriera, Rebecca Kakaka, and all the fine folk over there on Twitter. Every one of my friends on Twitter. I bow to you folks, respective and respectful. Okay, we also say hi and hello and a good time had by all to all my friends on Instagram. Dorothy Malone, Courtney Lynn Elwood. How y'all doing? Looks like we got a little stucco. Yeah, I do believe so. I do believe we got some stucco. Yes, we do. We got stucco. So we'll just call from there. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay. It's Thanksgiving and everything is everything. Let's put it that way. Oh boy. If it's that one thing at another, oh finally you have woken up. Okay. We got scoreboard coming up and we're actually going to end on time. That is a wonder, isn't it? Yes it is. Let's create the madness that is demanding. We go Charlene Jeter, Oreke. How you doing? Courtney Lynn Elwood, Linda Steele, Presley and Taylor, Dorothy Malone. Hi. Claudia Treos, Desiree Dundenath. Also, to Manuela Marchigani and all my friends on the Instagram, including Tammy Jo Futhi, Gloria Conroy, and Tess Broussard, Americani, and Deborah Estrella. If that's not enough, boys and girls, I got a lot. I got a lot of friends. Great support group, and I love each and every one of them. They are great, and I applaud them. And speaking of things to applaud, much like seeing PBS with 2 Charlie Brown specials, here it is. It's time to give you a aperitif that we call time for the scoreboard. And we're going to do it. Sorry for the dramatic pauses, but now we unpause and undramatic. That's right, because I want to give time for my commentary. So let's go through the soccer and all the other scores that we got, and then we'll do the commentary, which is going to be eviscerative, I'm afraid. Here we go. Wow. We got a ton from the Europe League, so let's do it. Tottenham over Ludogorets 4-0. Sant Lige over Lech Poznan 2-1. Rangers and Beneficia 2-2 tie. PSV a 3-2 winner over PAOK. Slava Prague over Nice 3-1. Napoli over Rijeka 2-0. Granada over Omonia 2-1. Rapid Vienna over Dundalk 3-1. Roma over Klug 2-0. Bayer Leverkusen over Beersheva 4-1. Alkmaar and Real Sociedad tied at goose eggs. Zagreb over Wolfsberger 3-0. Sparta Prague over Celtic 4-1. Sivasspor over Quarbag 3-2. Arsenal over Mold 3-0. Villarreal and Maccabi Tel Aviv tied at 1, as was AC Milan and Lille. Hoffenheim a 2-0 winner over Liberec. Antwerp 2-0 winner over Lassic. FK Crvena Zvezda over Ghent 2-1. Young Boys a 1-0 winner over CSKA Sofia. Finyard and CSKA Moscow tied at 0. Braga and Leicester tied at 3. FK Zorya Luhansk over Athens FC 3-0. That was in the Europe League. Let's go to basketball. In the Euro League in basketball, CSKA Moscow defeated Real Madrid 74-73. Anadolu Elfs over Crvena Zvezda Mainz 75-64. Zenit Petersburg over Zalgiris Kaunas 83-75. Alba Berlin over Khimki 100-80. Baskonia over Olympiacos 90-76. Maccabi Tel Aviv and Olimpia Milano after overtime. Milano defeated Tel Aviv 86-75. to 85. In the World Cup qualification in basketball preliminary edition, Iceland over Luxembourg, 90-76. Belarus over Albania, 90-50. Slovakia over Kosovo, 91-67. And Portugal over Cyprus, 74-56. In hockey, Sweden, after a shootout that went, or after a overtime that went nowhere, two overtimes that went, an overtime that went nowhere. They did a shootout. Linköpings beat HV 71 3-2. And in the regular version, it was Växjö over Malmo 3-0. And in Finland, Vasen Sport over JYP 3-2. And that is a happy happenstance for all. Now, let us begin. My commentary tonight, I do not take lightly, and I never will take lightly. I know we're right at the time of comedy, and I am to choose my words wisely, but I cannot, and I will not. I will speak the truth as far as I'm concerned. The Lions stunk. And 4 games, you hear me out, 4 games, they've only won 4 Thanksgiving Day games since the year 2000. They have been treated with an ownership that really don't give a damn, I believe, about this team. Only on the bottom line of an accountant's paper do they care. They're using the Lions as some sort of joke. And the Lions, yes, they are a joke. Under this archaic ownership, which began when William Clay Ford bought the team from the original owner, who just happened to own WJR. The circle is complete. What did William Clay Ford Jr. do? Exactly. Nothing. Nothing much. They've only won 1 championship in their lifespan. When William Clay Ford passed away, his wife, Martha, took over. When Martha stepped down, daughter Sheila took over. Matt Patricia, still the coach. Bobby Quinn, still the man in charge. But today, the nation saw a live picture from a camera of SFH, Sheila Ford Hamp, with her head buried in her hands in embarrassment over yet another disgraceful Lions loss. If you thought last week's butt slapping 20-0 embarrassment to the Carolina Panthers was enough, it fails into comparison the, shall we say, bull bleep way they played today against the Houston Texans. One play overall solidifies their season altogether. When a punky QB, and I will use that term as many times as I can for these youngsters, did a flea flicker to a Houston Texan player from their own yardage, placement all the way to where he is. I mean, it was a flea flicker. And when I think it was Will was his name, and Eli was his name. Um, did the ultimate flea flicker. Where were the Lions to get the ball? Nowhere. The Lions left the entire half of the field, their half of the field, open for the guy that tossed it back to the quarterback. Nothing has changed. Terry Bradshaw, one of the hosts of Fox NFL Sunday, said it best. They were wasting Matthew Stafford. And now I think Sheila has to agree. But here's the thing. This is what also Terry Bradshaw said. There will be changes made. I think Bob Quinn, the general manager, should be fired. The head coach has got to go, if not during the season, after the season. And then, well, when a coach comes in, he just said this. If you ask me, it's pretty simple. When a coach comes in, he makes a difference. Matt Patricia has not made a difference. This quarterback is being wasted. And then said maybe it's time they should also change ownership. I got to agree. The ownership, you got to get the right people. Unfortunately, the Fords are not the right people. They are not. They know, the only thing they know is automobiles. That's the only thing they're good in. They are not football owners. They know not about football. Not one. And if the ownership is to remain, now we all know the pandemic's the reason there are empty seats, except for the cardboard fans at the field that automobiles built. I think Sheila was also thinking this is going to be the scene if we continue like this. If this continues, we're going to lose money. And money is the most important thing if you're running an automobile company. So much money lost, you're going to look like Chrysler. They went from bankruptcy to borrowing money from the federal government, paying it off, of course, and then you had merger crazy, including, of course, the recent one, FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automotive. To put it boldly and bluntly, the only way you're going to stop the bleeding, the only way you're going to get a winning team is not just get rid of the coach, the staff, Bob Quinn, but Sheila, you know what you got to do. You got to tell Mama Martha, you got to sit down with her and be honest with her. We can't run this team. We don't know anything about football. You know it. Your late husband knows it. And I'm beginning to realize the fans are right. We know nothing. We have hired coaches because of what others say. Here's the ironic thing. Now think about this. before Matt Patricia was hired as the coach of the Detroit Pussycats, minus the word cat, Matt Patricia was being wooed with bigger bucks to coach the New York Jets. Mm-hmm. Yet he stayed with the Detroit Lions. He said, this is my team. I'm going to coach them like I coach. The man was an assistant coach for the New England Patriots. He wasn't in the style of Belichick. He had his own style. It may have worked in New England, but again, you know nothing about football, Sheila. You and the Fords know nothing about football. And it shows every year. You may have got lucky a few times and went to a wild card game. But what did you do then? You squandered that even. Now, I'm being nice. I'm saying the right things. Not like a certain afternoon sports host in Detroit who will eviscerate you guys like he has never eviscerated you before. Matt Patricia would be a good coach if he had accepted the job with the Jets. Here in Detroit, and we're not in Detroit, sorry to say, but in Detroit, the coaches who coach the Lions last about as long as sex with a tsetse fly. 5 seconds and you're dead. The Lions need an owner that has a football gravitas. They need an owner that can help. An owner that not only knows the sport, but knows how to promote it, knows how to bring in the proper people. Quinn and Patricia are not them. You had one. You had one. Jim Caldwell. And what did you do? You fired him in the middle of the season when the Lions were doing something great. You know what he's doing now? Now, quote Valeni on this one. He's probably sitting at home, drinking a beer, watching the game, and laughing all the way to the bank. The Lions are a complete joke under the Ford ownership. They will always be the joke of the National Football League. They will always be the doormat of the National Football League with this ownership. You need new ownership. When you get new ownership, maybe, just maybe, you'll break this damn curse of the Fords. Get someone that knows football, inside, outside, upside down. Listen to the fans for once. They pay these people. We're not standing out there with our pants down holding our waka wakas. We know football. And the Lions, you're crap. And the ownership knows it. But you want to know something? They're never going to sell. You want to know why? They'd lose the prestige. They would lose that money from the ads, from them sponsoring the pre-show, and worst of all, they will lose that one thing that gives Detroit the biggest prestige of all. And they were the ones that started it. The Lions started it. You know what it is. The Thanksgiving Day games. The Lions brought it, and the Lions have kept it. Why? Because of that name on top of that field. Ford. Without that prestige, the Ford name is nothing. That is why, in my opinion, the Fords will never sell the team. So you can protest all you want to. You can send little bon mots to Ford Motor Company all you want to. But know this. When it comes right down to it, you're stuck with the Fords. You can holler for the savior Dan Gilbert or Mark Cuban to gather up enough money to buy this team from them. But the Fords will never sell. And you want to know why? It's simple. It's simple. The Fords lose the prestige. They lose that extra oomph they get from hearing their name used in every NFL telecast, and they lose that prestigious Thanksgiving Day nut job. They lose that little nameplate. They were the ones that created the Thanksgiving Day games. It's theirs. You lose the prestige, you're nothing but an auto company. A nameplate on the ass end of every vehicle made by Ford. That field is called Ford Field. And regretfully, and we have to get used to it, the Fords own the Lions, and they will never, ever sell them. They will never do the right thing and sell it to somebody who knows the sport and could help give them that boost. As long as the Fords own them, they're going to be the doormat of the National Football League. They're going to be the joke of the NFL. You're going to get a new coach. It's not going to be a guy like Chuck Knox, who said it best when he said, I would never coach in Detroit. I coached Pittsburgh until the day I die. You had a coach. He was doing good finally. But you screwed him out of Detroit for Matt Patricia and Bobby Quinn. And now the picture that everybody has tweeted, retweeted, is going to be the picture of your team that you own. Sheila Ford Hamp burying her head in embarrassment. It's time to tell Mother Martha, we got to get out of this. If you fire the coach, you're just going to hire another one. You fire the general manager, you fire Bobby Quinn, you're going to get another one, and the whole thing starts over again. The biggest mistake you ever made was getting rid of Jim Caldwell. Why did you get rid of him? Because he started to bring the Lions to relevancy and to class. They were getting right up there to being not as elite as the others, but they were getting right up there. And I'm done drinking this damn Kool-Aid. I'm going with the water. And the water is clean. The water is pure. The Lions need new ownership. But they will never get it. Because the Fords are owners till the day they die. That is it. We are out of time. In fact, we went over time, and I will be surprised if this broadcast gets posted up. I'm Steve the Baxman Baxley. I am a sports fan, and I'm going to say it boldly, and I'm going to say it bluntly. I'm getting tired as hell with the Detroit Pussycats. Give us new owners, new president, new coach. We might have something. But until that time, everybody, you can protest and scream and holler all you want to. But now you know why. Just in my opinion, the Fords will never sell. Mark my words. Unless a miracle happens and they get the right amount. That's the only way they're going to get out. That's the only way the Lion fans will be free and will be happy again. Until that time, that word, Lions, will never be spoken on this broadcast. Because a lion is proud. A lion roars. This team is like a bunch of pussycats. They just meow. We'll see you tomorrow night at 11:30. I'm Steve Baxley. This has been a presentation of Mr. Fine Creativity Productions for the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I ain't apologizing for my statements. They're my own. They're not those of YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow night. That'll be Friday night. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. Thank you all very much. Good night. May all your favorite teams win, or at least attempt. If you're a Lions fan, you have my sympathies. Good night, America, wherever and whomever ye may be. Thank you, and good night.